The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Good morning, afternoon, evening. My name is Ron Chucky. Welcome to the program for this 28th day of January 2026. Today we have a early season big game in the American League West. The Oakland A's are 10-4 to start this season. Better than expected. And again, you win 85 games in this division, chances are you're going to be contending for a playoffs. But I think California won 92 or 93, and Texas was in second place. Oakland's a couple years away. I think Canseco's in the lineup today for Oakland, but I'm not sure. It's not the Bash Brothers in 1986. In fact, the best player maybe in Oakland history at that point is in New York, as in Ricky Henderson. Reggie Jackson's a DH today for California. So the surprising A's are in Anaheim to face California. Mike Witt, who is their ace, is on the mound for them on a drop-dead gorgeous night in Southern California. So it's the A's and the Angels from Anaheim next on Retro Sports Network. As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Replay 1986. Today from Anaheim Stadium in Anaheim, California, it is. Sounds like it's a poem, doesn't it? The California Angels versus the Oakland Athletics. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web. For your sports simulation and replay needs, find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. So Mike Witt gets the call. The Angels are 10-5. The A's are 10-4. Witt is 25 years old. Fastball at 89. And a standard pitcher, which would be Chevron in the rest of the country, making his fourth start of the year. He faced the Twins on the 18th, so 5 days ago. Beat him 7-5. He went the distance, 138 pitches, 6 hits, 5 runs, all earned. But he allowed 4 home runs while striking out 11. So Witt, if the Angels are going to make a run this year, needs to have pitch better. However, overall, 26 innings, 22 hits, 15 runs, 14 earned, 6 home runs. That's a metric ton. He's thrown a lot of strikes, though. He's walked 3 while striking out 34. In his first start of the year against Seattle, he struck out 15. How you doing, Big Dave? Hopefully you didn't get too much snow. Greg, Tom Abbott, how are you? And Scott Johnson. Here is the A's lineup for you. And again, it's a mishmash of things here. Tony Phillips at second will lead off. Dwayne Murphy, who was kind of the star of the team, in center field. He'll bat second. The rookie Jose Canseco is in left. He'll go third. Dusty Baker is a DH. He'll clean up. Mike Davis in right, one of those old-time A's, will bat fifth. Carney Lansford is at third. He'll bat sixth. He is a big part of the A's future. Bruce Bochy at first will bat seventh. Alfredo Griffin at short will go eighth. Blue Jay fans, get your voodoo dolls out. And the Fruit Loop, Mickey Tettleton behind the plate, batting ninth. Witt can give you 115 pitches on a good day. That is all the way. He was an 18-game winner in real life, oh, by the way. Defensively for the Angels, Brian Downing is 7-4 in left. Gary Pettis a 10-7 in center. And Rupert Jones, is a 5-5 in right. So good speed, but not great arms outside of Pettis. Doug DeCinces an 8 at third. Dick Schofield is a 7-7 at short. Rob Wilfong, not Bobby Grich in the lineup today. He's a 6-6 at second. And the rookie, Wally Joyner, and his hair, a 7 at first. Bob Boone, one of the best framers of pitches ever, is a 10 behind the plate. And Witt is 25. He is an 8 on the mound with a .984 fielding percentage. It's Rupert Holmes I was doing a bad impression of. How you doing, Tim? Maybe warm enough for us to return to the office tomorrow? You got a new coach in Cleveland. Apparently you robbed the Ravens offensive coordinator. Andy, how are you? So Tony Phillips at 345, no homers, 4 doubles, and 13 RBI. Weather, not a factor here, 72 degrees, and the wind is blowing right to left at 7. And Phillips strikes out. Witt in 269 real innings. Fan 208. Dwayne Murphy at 346 in limited duty. 2 homers, well, in real life, limited duty, and 10 RBI. Everyone knows the Pina Colada song. It's Rupert Holmes, yes, but him is pretty good, too. Pitch to Murphy. There's a high fly ball, right center field. Back goes Jones and Pettis. That's off the wall. And Murphy's in the second with his 8th double of the year already. One of the reasons why the A's are 10-4. This is their 15th game. And for the Angels, they're 10-5. This is their 16th game. These are the games of April 23rd, Wednesday night, 1986. Canseco at 345. 4 home runs already, and 10 RBI. And I'm trying to think if I remember hearing about Canseco in 86. McGuire had the splash, but remember, and that would be 87. But remember, McGuire had the Olympic baseball card from 84. That was in the 85 top sets. Pitch to Canseco. As soon as I get the mouse in the right spot, struck him out. Witt got him to chase, so 1-2 fastball. The other big rookie in 87, or in 86 too, was Barry Bonds in Pittsburgh. Dusty Baker at 300, a home run and 9 RBI. Who was the Browns offensive coordinator in 2019, huh? I'll take 72 for sure. John's taken for the A's, which will play the 7th inning stretch. Todd Monken, Todd B, is the new head coach of the Cleveland Browns. And that's my story until I see him there. No truth to the rumor that George Hendrick is there. George is actually not in the starting lineup today. Pitch to Baker. Struck him out. Witt takes down the side around the double. So a 2-2 off-speed pitch, got him looking. No runs, a hit, no errors. And after half an inning, it's Oakland nothing. Here come the Angels. Here's Chris Cordioli making his 4th start of the year. He went 5-8 in real life. 28 years old, a fastball at 86, and a fly ball plus pitcher. That is true. All the good rookies were in the top traded set. How you doing, Paul? Donruss got Canseco for 86. As a rated rookie, if I remember correctly. Cordioli last pitched 5 days ago, so last Sunday, or let me do the math here, Saturday, whatever it was, in an 18-3 shellacking of Seattle. He went 7 innings, 109 pitches. Just trust me, it was 5 days ago. 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned, a home run. He's given up 4 now. Walked 1 and struck out 5 to get the win. 18 1/3 innings, 15 hits, 9 runs. 7 earned. Again, 4 home runs in 3 starts. He has walked 5 and struck out 12. But his ERA is 3.44 with that 1-0 record. The Angel lineup is this. Gary Pettis leads off in center field. Wally Joyner at first will bat second. Reggie Jackson is the DH. He'll go third. Brian Downing cleans up in left. How you doing, D. Scott Howard? Doug DeCinces at third will bat fifth. Rupert Jones in right will bat sixth. Ducky Schofield at short will go seventh. Rob Wilfong at second bats eighth. And Bob Boone, the catcher, will go ninth. Cordioli, maybe sixth on a good day. We'll see. Defensively for the A's, Jose Canseco a 5 and a 7 in left. Dwayne Murphy a 9 and a 6 in center. Mike Davis, a very good defensive outfielder, an 8 and a 10 in right. By the time the A's make the World Series, it's Canseco, Henderson, and I forget who's in right, but it's a different outfit. when they win the World Series. Ricky Henderson's back in the lineup. Carney Lansford is a 6 at third. Alfredo Griffin a 9 and a 9 at short. Tony Phillips a 7 and a 7 at second. Bruce Bochy a 5 at first. Mickey Tettleton a 6 and a 5 behind the plate. Cordioli is a 7 on the mound with an .848 fielding percentage. We're not bunting here. Pettis at .305, 2 homers and 59 at-bats. Wow, 11 RBI and 8 stolen bases. He swings, ground ball to Phillips, who'll throw to Bochy for the out, 1 away. For Wally World, that's the name I remember most as a rookie, probably because they made the playoffs and they made a big deal out of him. .328 for Joyner, 2 homers and 7 RBI. One of those players that was good, received it when he came up as being great, and ended up having a serviceable career. Goes the other way with it, drops in front of Canseco, and Joyner's on with the first base hit for California. For Reggie Jackson, hitting .278, a home run and 4 RBI. Bocce balls, yep. Cordioli deals. Reggie into right. Davis doesn't even have to move. Had him played perfectly, 1 out. Or 2 out. For Brian Downing at .302, 2 home runs and 15 RBI. Ground ball to Griffin. He goes to Phillip for the force, and that will do. Angels get a hit, and they leave a runner on. After 1 on a beautiful night in Southern California, no score. So Davis, Lansford, and Bochy to face Witt here in the second. Mike at .268 on the number of his real-life average. No homers and 4 RBI. Davis drops one down. DeCinces just picks it up and applauds because that's a bunt base hit for Davis, who does have speed. Here's Carney Lansford. Carnage at .293, 3 homers and 10 RBI. Witt throws to first, and Davis is back. Now we're going to pitch out. Runner goes. The throw goes into center field. Nope. Not even close, even on the pitch out. Davis had Witt's move timed perfectly, and so he's on second with nobody out, and a 1-ball count to Carney Lansford. And Carnage draws the walk. So Witt, in his 3 previous starts this year, has struggled. He's not had a especially clean start, which explains the 4.67 ERA. Bochy at .271, a double and 6 RBI. Struck him out. So that's 4 for Witt. All 4 outs the A's have come by way of the K. A 1-2 fastball got him inside. Here's Alfredo Griffin. You can hear the Toronto chapter of Retro Sports Network booing and hissing this one. 446, what a start. He's 25 of 56 with 7 RBI. That's a base hit over Wilfong into right center field. Davis around third. Rupert Jones is going to throw home. Here it comes. The throw to the plate. Not even close. Lansford goes to third. Griffin goes to second. 1-0 Oakland. Now I'll bring up Mickey Tettleton. Tettleton at .216. No homers and 5 RBI. Apparently he liked to eat Fruit Loops. And so when I was in college, there was someone I went to school with, a good guy, weather meteorologist, who was an Orioles fan when Tettleton was in Baltimore. And that was his nickname, was Fruit Loops. 2 on for Tettleton, struck him out. So 5 outs, all retired by strikeouts. But Witt has already thrown 40 pitches. Opening 9 on 40 pitches, an inning and 2/3. Just the 1 run it was earned. He has allowed 3 hits, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. Phillips struck out to start the game. This will finally be an out for somebody besides Boone as Pettis tracks it down in the alley, and that will do. Oakland, a run on 2 hits. They leave on 2, and after an inning and a half, 1-0. So DeCinces, Jones, and Schofield to face Cordioli here in the second. Doug at 170, 3 homers, 11 RBI. I did not know the Pina Colada song was a throwaway. They needed another song to complete the album. Really? I did not know that. That song made him a lot of money. It was a third single released that you hear on the yacht rock stations. Has to do with with somebody proposing to his girlfriend over an answering machine. It's catchy as anything. And then you never heard from him again. DeCinces swings. That's a base hit into center field. That will drop in front of Murphy. Second hit for the Angels. Here is Rupert Jones. 162, 2 triples, and 3 RBI. Jones toiled with the expansion Mariners for a while. Thought he was going to get his World Series ring with the Yankees. Remember, they won the division in 80 and got swept by the Royals, and then lost the World Series in 81 to the Dodgers. Stop smiling, Scotty. And then, after a handful of other teams here in California for 86, and we know what happened. Pitch to Jones. There's a fly ball to right. Back goes Davis, and that will be caught on the base of the track. DeCinces has to scamper back to first, 1 out. For Dick Schofield, hitting .333 with a home run. I don't remember him hitting 13. And 2 RBI. That's true. It has nothing to do with the Pina Coladas and all about cheating on his wife, who was going to cheat on him. And remember, Cheat Day is brought to you by Weight Watchers. What's an answering machine, the kids will ask? It'd be voicemail. Calbert Brown, I saw him in an interview. He said everywhere he went, someone would buy him one. He said, "Oh, I hate pina coladas too. I just can't imagine. They're just sickly sweet to me. Not my thing. I'm not a big drinker anyway, but that's not my thing." DeCinces on first. Schofield will swing, and he draws the walk. For Rob Wilfong, slow start, 161, a homer and 8 RBI. Remember, the Angels have not only George Hendrick, but Rick Burleson and Bobby Grich. So the Angels are a deep team. Pitch to Wilfong. There's a chopper up the middle. Griffin steps on the bag for 1, but there's no throw to first. But Griffin robbed Wilfong of a hit. It saves a run for sure. 2 out for Bob Boone. Bob hitting .326, a home run and 8 RBI. Scott went to a Mexican restaurant a while back and ordered a pina colada. Told the young lady there bartending there's a song about that. Well, Scott, that song came out in late 79? Which would be 46 years ago. Be like discussing with us a Bing Crosby single. Pitch to Boone. Hard hit up the middle. Phillips snap throw to first. And the Oakland A's shut him down. No runs, a hit. The Angels have left on 2 in the inning, 3 overall. And after 2, 1-0 Oakland. Yeah, she was Gen Z. Oh, yeah. Is there a song about agreeing to get married with a head nod from the wife who can't speak out because she just got her wisdom teeth pulled out? Is that the one I'm thinking of with the answering machine? I now get it stuck in my head. Future fiance. Hey, you're not the boss of me. I can bring up Bing Crosby and my favorite crooners anytime I want. I'm dreaming of a white Groundhog Day. Dwayne Murphy doubled his first time up. Just like the ones I used to know. Paul says, remember Sports Illustrated showing a picture from late in the season where Reggie is bunting because the Angels were still battling for the division. That's right. Little drummer boy, Bing Crosby. And that aired after he died with David Bowie. They had never met before. God knows what network television executive okayed that. But they liked each other. Pitch to Murphy. That's 6 for Witt. If Reggie bunted for Billy Martin, then there wouldn't have been a fight at Fenway. What out for Canseco, who struck out his first time up? Fly ball left center. Back goes Pettis, and that ball is long gone. That's into the football bleachers, and it's a 2-0 game. Jose juices himself for his 5th home run of the year, and it's 2-0 Oakland. Nothing that Gary could do about that. Dusty Baker struck out his first time up. So Witt, who allowed 22 homers in 269 innings, has allowed 7 in 28 1/3. Glenn Campbell played guitar on Sinatra's Strangers in the Night. It's also how they got the name for Scooby-Doo. John's wife and him were planning a move across the country, and her mother wasn't happy. I said, well, while eating ice cream at Friendly's, would it make your mother happier if we were married? Oh, is that how you proposed? How you doing, Jim Connell? Yes, Campbell was a prolific sessions guitar player. I'm surprised that Todd B hasn't changed his logo to the Browns now that he's the head coach. Pitch to Baker. Up the middle, base hit. So Witt, again, not having an easy time of it. Here's Mike Davis. He singled his first time up. There's a line shot to Wilfong. Baker goes back to first, 2 out. For Carney Lansford, who walked his first time up. Fly ball popped up right side. Wilfong will make the grab, and that will do. So the solo homer from Canseco puts another run on the board for Oakland. 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors. We go to the bottom of the 3rd here at Anaheim. 2-0 A's. Did Anaheim Stadium get enclosed to get more seats? Yes, that's exactly what it was, Paul. You can't really see it. The A out there in left center, that was all open. And when I lived in New Mexico, Gary Pettis, by the way, 0 for 1. Opening 9 for Cordioli. 36 pitches, 2 innings, 2 hits, and a walk. When they built the place and opened it in 66, that was all open out there in left field. Kind of like it is now. But when the Rams moved out there for the 80 season, they enclosed it. So when I lived in Las Cruces in the summer of 79, we got either KTLA or KTTV. Well, we got them both. So we got both Angels and Dodger games, and they certainly weren't very frequent. And you could see the progress of them enclosing the stadium. Pitch to Pettis. Gary swings left center field. Back goes Canseco, and that ball is off the wall. Pettis has speed to burn, and he's into second standing with his first double. Joyner singled his first time up. This is the Rams moved in an era where they played high school games at the Coliseum. UCLA played at the Coliseum, and so did Southern Cal. So even in temperate Southern California, that grass was pretty chewed up. Anyway, to get back to the romance story, we planned a wedding in 5 months and got married the day before we left. That is sweet. Glenn Campbell's best friend was Alice Cooper. I did not know that. That's cool. Oh, played a lot of golf together. Yeah, they both were up at Pebble Beach for a long time. Leon Russell played keys with Glenn and the Wrecking Crew, too, with short hair. They moved the A to the parking lot in right field, so the A that you kind of see there is not the original. The original look for the stadium was iconic. Pitch to Joyner. That's a base hit left field. Canseco will grab it. Pettis around third. They'll send him home. The throw to Tettleton, not in time, and it's 2-1. It was Disneyland and Anaheim Stadium and Orange Groves when the place opened in '66, and now it's no longer part of the desolate country of Orange County. Reggie is 0 for 1. Joyner on first in a 1-run game. Snap throw down to first, and they get Joyner napping. How about that? First pitch to Reggie, and Wally was checking to see if he needed to file his fingernails. Well, he can now go do that in the dugout. They throw him out 2-3. Nobody on. Hard ground ball to Griffin. Reggie motors down to first for the out. 2 away. For Downing, who's 0 for 1. I think, judging from the logos on the wall, that this picture was taken in '89. Maybe '90. I'm looking at that Sox logo there on left. After the All-Star game. Maybe later. Is the Rockies logo there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, nope, between 90 and 93. Getting back to Glenn Campbell, Todd says, amazing at the end he could remember every line and every music note but couldn't recognize his family. Music stays with you a long time. John got married in the park, and the WCU Alumni House let us have the reception in their backyard. We were inspired by the wedding in the film Fandango. That is cool. Everyone to this day said it was the best wedding and reception they'd ever been to. That is cool. Now, did her mom know that you were going to propose? Pitch to Downing. Fly ball, right field, or on the grass in shallow right. Phillips is there, and that will retire the side. Angels get on the board, a run on 2 hits after 3. It's Oakland 2, California 1. Yeah, Campbell, Scott went and saw Campbell in 2012. It was his TV show that replaced the Smothers Brothers. The Glenn Campbell Good Time Hour. Bruce Bochy is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Here's a ground ball to third. DeCinces has it over to Joyner for the out. I never know what you guys are going to want to talk about. In my fountain of useless trivia. So that's cool. It's a surprise for them both. Alfredo Griffin has an RBI single. There is a high ground ball behind the bag at second. Wilfong over to Joyner, and there's 2 out. For Mickey Tettleton, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Popped up. Joyner over in the seats, and Wally is going to, apparently I put that one too far over, will run out of real estate. And somebody from Rancho Cucamonga made that catch. So 0-2 the count, and 2 out here in the top of the 4th. Struck him out, 7 for Witt. We're through 3.5. No runs, no hits, no errors. It is the A's 2, the Angels 1. Yep, Pat Bruin is also a friend of Alice Cooper. John asked if he should get her father's blessing, and she said it wouldn't matter because she's going to do what she wants anyway. Kids, that is the first sign of what a successful marriage is. I'm doing what I want. And the proper words are, yes, dear. So we played a few games since our last stream. When Curtis watches, we advanced 3 days from Saturday to Wednesday, so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday in the standings. And in the American League West, the A's are a half game up on California. Texas is 7-6. Chicago 6-7. And everyone else is kind of sliding all back. Yankees 9-4 in the East. They have a 1-game lead over Detroit. A game and a half over Cleveland. Toronto 7-7, 2.5 back. In the National League West, San Francisco 8-6. Houston a half game back at 7-6. San Diego 7-7. And in the East, the Mets probably are the only team that won't lose first place from the rest of the season on. They've started out 8-2. Lee Lacy leads the American League in hitting. Darrell Evans has punched 7 home runs. Don Mattingly has driven in 21, and Brooke Jacoby with an OPS of 1332. The Sensei singled his first time up. I think we talked about before, Alice Cooper and Groucho Marx were neighbors. And Groucho suffered, especially as he got older, from severe insomnia. So Cooper would bring a couple cans of 12-ounce weights, and they would watch all-night movies on TV until Groucho fell asleep. Pitch to the Sensei. There's a fly ball, left center. Murphy, 1 out. For Rupert Jones, who's 0 for 1. Rupert draws the walk. Alice also played a lot of golf with Willie Nelson, too. Sometimes 36 holes a day. Mr. Gardner rooting for the A's. He said he hit his clubs from the band onto the bus. Yeah, you got to do something. You've got to do something. Dickie Schofield walked his first time up. Fly ball, left center. Murphy makes the grab, and Jones back to first. 2 out for Rob Wilfong, who's 0 for 1. Base hit, right center. Murphy cuts it off. Jones on his way to third. And runners on the corners, 2 out for Bob Boone, who's 0 for 1. So we said the A's are a couple years away. But you never know. I mean, that's why we play these games. Pitch to Boone. There's a ground ball to Griffin. Alfredo goes the long way to first, and that will retire the side. California threatens but does not score. No runs, a hit. They've now left on 5, and after 4 here, 2-1 Oakland. So top of the lineup, Phillips, Murphy, and Canseco. Tony on a 13-game hitting streak, 0 for 2 today with a strikeout. Witt, 4 innings, 72 pitches, 18 batters, 2 runs, 5 hits, a home run, a walk, and 7 Ks. I won't get the chance to, while Dave's here, to do the Alpha 5 of Payoff Pitch, which was released, until Friday. So I don't know if Dave plans to show it off before then or not, but we won't get the chance here until Friday afternoon or Friday night. Pitch to Phillips. Tony drops one down, the throw to first, and Tony is retired. They're an aggressive bunch, aren't they? Dwayne Murphy, 1 for 2. He has doubled and struck out. Witt has fanned 7 and thrown a lot of pitches. Ground ball to first. Joyner on 2 hops takes to the bag, and there's 2 out. Scott waiting for the PC version of Payoff Pitch with bated breath. Been a lot of stuff that Shane Orr, Baseball Maelstrom, I think, did the video for Alpha 4. And there's been a lot added since the one that we tried out for Alpha 3. Canseco homered his 5th of the year. He's now driven in 11 and is 1 for 2. Fly ball, left center. Pettis runs in, rides a Schwinn, makes the catch halfway home. Oakland 2, California 1. Where is my mouse? Good morning, Curtis. Says Curtis joined us late. 2-1 Oakland, 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the A's. A run on 5 hits and no errors for the Angels. Alfredo Griffin, an RBI single to score Davis to make it 1-0 in the second. Then Canseco, a solo bomb in the third to make it 2-0. And then on the bottom of the third, Wally Joyner singled home Gary Pettis to make it 2-1. You didn't catch Gardner's Super Bowl pre-play. What a game that was. Seattle beating the Patriots 34-27. And that, Mike Witt, by the way, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned, a home run to Canseco, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. Cordioli, 4 innings, 5 hits, a run it was earned, and he has walked 2. Todd B. thinks that they're trying to get 30 seasons available for the computer for payoff pitch by the time it releases. That'd be a very healthy margin. How many seasons is out there for the game? Gary Pettis, by the way, 1 for 2. He has a double today. There is a fly ball right field. Davis, 1 out. For Wally Joyner, 2 for 2. The rookie has singled twice and driven in a run. That came in the third. Ball 4. So Wally World draws a walk for Reggie Jackson. Jackson is 0 for 2. No candy bars in California. Tettleton and Cordioli have a word. Chris deals. Reggie swings. Right center field. Back goes Murphy. He's running a long way, but he'll make the catch on the track and shakes Wally Joyner's hand at first. 2 out for Brian Downing, who's 0 for 2. No, it was Fast Drive Football was the pre-play. You can buy the pre-play on Action PC, which I plan to do. And Mike in the truck and I on Sunday will be doing a pre-play with his Family Football Plus. Runner goes, and Tettleton dropped it. So Joyner moves up to second on the pass ball, and Cordioli trying to get the last out to be eligible for the win. He's tired now. Full count to Downing with the sensei on deck. Base hit left field. Joyner is going to chug around third. They're going to run on Canseco's arm. The throw goes in the infield, and we're tied up at 2. Family Football Plus. That is Mike Gibberell's game. Drive by drive or possession by possession game. It's similar but different from Fast Drive. The sensei, by the way, has singled 1 for 2. We've done the Papa, this is Action PC Baseball 26. Should be a close game. Seattle's a 4.5-point favorite. Scotty's still rooting for the Sounders. Pitch to the sensei. Fly ball right center. Murphy going back, and Wayne will make the grab to retire the side. Angels tie this puppy up. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. After 5, it's 2-2. So Baker, Davis, and Lansford to face Witt here in the 6th. Speaking of the Patriots, why on God's green earth would you deny Bill Belichick the Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility? That is just incredibly petty. Base hit left field. Downing will grab it on a hop, and Dusty, toothpick and all, is on first. 6 hits for both teams. In fact, 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Oakland. They've left on 4. 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors for California, and they have left on 6. Mike Davis is 1 for 2. High ground ball to first. Joyner, Schofield for 1. Davis is going to reach because the throw back is late. So 1 on, 1 out on the fielder's choice for Lansford, who was 0 for 1 with a walk. That's a base hit into right field. Jones will pick it up. Runners on first and second, 1 out. If Bill had won in Cleveland, he would have gotten your vote. I think the argument against Belichick being in the Hall is that he didn't do diddly without Tom Brady. And Brady won that Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. Bochy 0 for 2. He has struck out once. But realistically, the man, between his coordinator work with the Giants and the 6 he won with New England, has won 8 Super Bowls. And retired with over 300 wins, or left the Patriots after 300 wins. Bill Polian lobbied against it. And Tim makes a good point. They did get to the playoffs in 94 and probably would have gone in 95 if Art Modell hadn't kneecapped the team. Absolutely true. I mean, he was better than Bud Carson. Pitch to Bochy. Here's a fly ball to left. Back goes Downing. Well hit. Bryan runs it down, makes the catch. Davis will hold at second. And there's 2 out for Alfredo Griffin, who's 1 for 2 with a single. Kraft is eligible this year, too. Jerry's in the Hall. But again, I mean, Jerry himself is a personality. Yep, Vinatieri. Adams should be in the Hall, I think. Struck him out. 8 for Witt. So Cordioli's done. Keith Atherton coming on to pitch. We go to the bottom of the 6th. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. Oakland 2, California 2. Atherton making his 6th appearance. He's 1-0 with a 4.76 ERA. He is 27 years old, fastball at 92, and a fly ball plus pitcher. John says, I'm sure Brady would agree that Belichick taught him a ton, plus Bill drafted him and believed him enough to keep playing him after Bledsoe was healthy. I think Spygate, not necessarily Deflategate, but Spygate is the reason why we're waiting a year. That's also saying Chuck Noll wasn't anything without Bradshaw. Tomlin wasn't without Roethlisberger. I'm not making. He should be in the Hall, but I'm dumbfounded by him not getting in. Vinatieri also has the NFL record for consecutive field goals made. Really? Atherton last pitched on the 19th, so 4 days ago, in a 7-4 loss to Seattle. He went 2/3 of an inning. 29 pitches, 2 hits, a run it was earned. He walked 2 and struck out 1. Overall for Keith, I think he's going to go to Minnesota. 5 2/3, 4 hits. In fact, that might happen in May. 3 runs, all earned. He's walked 3 and struck out 2. Interestingly, Scotty says the 3 biggest sports crowds at Lumen Field are Sounders games. And Mr. Howard was at all 3. We were happy to share our soccer stadium with the other football team in town. Rupert Jones is 0 for 1 with a walk. If you get the Action PC special, you also get the 60 Boston Patriots and the expansion 76 Seattle Seahawks. And Jones draws the walk. He is the go-ahead run. I'm still trying to picture out how all those NASL players who played in Seattle played on that turf, and if they still had knees left. Schofield's 0 for 1. Do we want a bunt here? They're playing for it. Let's do it. Schofield squares. Bunt is down. Throw to Phillips, and Dick retired. So it worked. Jones on second. Namath still holds the NFL record for most incomplete passes after retirement. And America tips its hat to Susie Colbert. Here's Wilfong. Rob is 1 for 2 with a single. 2-2, bottom of the 6th. Yes, they did play in the Kingdom, the original Sounders of the North American Soccer League. Wilfong right back up the box. Atherton gets up the glove. And P-Jet and the Oakland Seals applaud. The kick save and debut from Atherton. 2 out for Bob Boone, who's 0 for 2. No, they played at the Kingdom. Wow, how you doing, Pesky Pole? No, and maybe not unanimous, although I don't think anyone cares. But can you tell the story of the National Football League without Bill Belichick? And the answer to that is hell to the no. I'm saying this is a Giants fan. Pitch to Boone. There's a ground ball to Griffin over to Bocce, and that will retire Bob. We've played 6, no runs, no hits, no errors. Angels have now left on 7. We go to the 7th, 2-2. The Sounders opened it. The record for most kicks by Vinatieri was broken by Lewis Ward, who had 60 consecutive field goals and was a security guard at the stadium. Should make a movie and put that on Netflix. Puts Rudy to shame. Tettleton is 0 for 2. Mike Witt has struck him out twice. Tettleton, Phillips, and Murphy here in the 7th. Witt starts the inning. That is hard hit right at Gary Pettis, who will dive. And can't get there. He'll hold Tettleton to a single. He dove and knocked it down. It did not get past Pettis. And so the go-ahead run is on for Tony Phillips, who is now 0 for 3 with the strikeout. Witt, 27 batters, 102 pitches, 6+ innings, 2 runs, both earned, 8 hits, the home run to Canseco, a walk, and 8 strikeouts. For a catcher, Tettleton's fast. Phillips, by the way, a 13-game hitting streak. Make it 9 for Witt. A 2-2 fastball got him. 1 out for Murph. Dwayne 1 for 3. A hard hit double and a strikeout. These are 7-2 in Dobreski's replay. Sounders played 2 years at Memorial in the shadow of the Space Needle. The first 2 years they moved in the Kingdom in 76. There's a ground ball to Schofield. Wilfong for 1. Joyner for 2. Stretch time, 2-2. Greg saw the Blizzard play the Chicago Sting, and then the Metros played prior to the name change, the New York Cosmos. I'm assuming that was at the CNE. The turf was so bad the players coated their legs with Vaseline to prevent rug burn in Seattle. Yeah, and it was new, too. It wasn't worn out. John says, Mike Silva said something the other day on Discord that made me want to puke. Uh-oh. Don't do that. Boston has not had 2 consecutive years since 2000 without playing for at least a chance to get to the championship. And this air sickness bag is courtesy of Cape Air. Oh, Varsity Stadium. Okay. And the CNE. When did CNE open up? Pettis 1 for 3. He is doubled. He's not going to bunt here. And he's chased 1 anyway, and it's a 2-1 count. Now the infield playing back. 2-2. Fly ball right field. Davis. 1 out. For Wally Joyner, Wally has singled twice today. He has walked and driven in a run. Oh, the mid-50s. Okay. And Wally draws another walk. So Atherton's starting to tire out. Here's Reggie. How can you have a batting average of 290 and an on-base percentage of 41? Is Silva from New England? The Cleveland baseball franchise is on year 78 of a drought. Tettleton and Atherton have a word. Reggie rips this one down to first. Bochy to Atherton, and Reggie's retired. Joyner moves up to second base, 2 out for Downing. Excuse me, who's 1 for 3 with an RBI. Struck him out. We go to the 8th, and a good one here. No runs, no hits, no errors. Angels have left on 8. We go to the 8th. Oakland and California tied at 2. Scott was in on a certain Discord a few years ago, not sport game related, and every day someone would say something that make. And this talk of nausea, as Jose Canseco, 1 for 3, homered, his 5th of the year, drove home his 11th run and struck out, is brought to you by Pepto-Bismol, the one that coats, soothes, and relieves. Read something on social media that makes you want to hurl? Pepto-Bismol. The Mariners say hold your coffee to that. The stadium opened the week before you were born on August 5th, 1959. I don't think Belichick would have been interested in the Buffalo job anyway, Paul. With all the jobs that were open last year and good jobs, I mean, the Eagles, it wasn't the Eagles. There was a couple jobs of contenders. And his phone never rang. Pitch to Canseco. Fly ball, center field. Pettis, 1 out. For Baker, 2 for 3, a single twice, and struck out. If the phone, it was Atlanta that popped up, right? If the phone didn't ring last year for Bill, it was never going to ring. And the right job for someone like that is, a 1 or 2 year non-rebuilding job. Baker's 2 for 3. Dusty swings. That's into left field. Downing goes back and makes the catch, 2 away for Mike Davis, who's 1 for 3 with a single. Paul lived through Isaiah Thomas's Knicks era. I'm sorry. And that was bad enough. I can't imagine Belichick there. I think that the sideshow of the girlfriend, it is unfortunate. I'm honestly surprised with the Browns that they did not make an effort for Deion Sanders. His kid did make the Pro Bowl this year. And Davis draws the walk. And Witt probably... Do I pull him now? Yeah. Is done with his day. Righty, lefty, switchy. We'll go with the gentleman, Doug Corbett. Corbett is 33. Fastball pitcher at 83. And a ground ball pitcher. It is touch football. Here's a whole video on that. Ted Stepien era in Cleveland, Tim. Browns in their own circus right now and have been for years. Yep. Yeah, that's a reflection of the Pro Bowl. For sure. Corbett, last pitch on the 17th, so he's been off 6 days. And a 7-2 win over the Twins. He went 2 1/3, picked up the save, 29 pitches, a hit and a strikeout. Overall, 5 2/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. He allowed a home run to Seattle. He walked 1 and has struck out 2. So Lansford 1 for 2. Carney has walked and singled. Davis on first, 2 out, top of the 8th, and a 2-2 tie. Struck him out. Corbett does the job. Steve Onaveros coming in to pitch. Ted owned a CBL team in Toronto? Canadian baseball or basketball? Onaveros is 25. Has a 90-mile-an-hour fastball and a fly ball pitcher. When these two teams played up in Oakland a few days ago, he pitched in a 5-2 win that day. Inning in 2/3, 29 pitches, a hit and a strikeout. It'll be DeCinces, Jones, and Schofield to face Steve in the 8th. Doug is 1 for 3 with a single. The days of being excited about a player to go to Hawaii ended about the time. Well, Paul will finish that thought. Todd, why would you? Oh. That's Andy. Yep. Watch the Elway doc on Netflix. I'm so sorry. DeCinces 1 for 3. Fly ball, left field. Back goes Canseco. That is gone. DeCinces hits his 4th of the year, and California goes up 3-2. He lined that one down the line and left. Oops. Jones goes into right field. Back goes Davis, and we go back to back. So he couldn't get the replay in the first home run. For Rupert, that's his 1st of the year. He is showered by pina coladas. They haven't played an all-star game in the CFL since the early 80s. I think they're highly overrated for football. So here's Jones's home run. So the Angels go back-to-back here in the 8th to take a 4-2 lead. If they win this, they go into first place. Schofield, 0 for 1 with a walk. Ontiveros, not a great pitcher. It's one of the reasons why Dennis Eckersley became involved. But again, this Oakland team isn't all that great. Now, that would be interesting. Oh, an Aaron Rodgers doc? Oh, please spare me. The CFL versus the NFL in flag football. There's a fly ball, shallow right center. Murphy coming in, makes the catch, 1 out. For Wilfong, who's 1 for 3 today. Struck him out. Oh, 1-2, got him swinging. 2 out for Boone, who's 0 for 3. So 4 run, 8 hits, no errors for California. 2 runs, 8 hits, no errors for Oakland. Up the middle, Griffin over to Bocci, and that will do on a great play by Griffin. However, the damage is done. The 2 solo home runs, 1 from Doug DeCinces, the 2nd from Rupert Jones. We go to the 9th, 4-2. So in comes Donnie Moore. Looking for his first save of the year. Donnie's only pitched once, and that was on April 9th, so he's had 2 weeks off. 32 years old, fastball at 87, and a ground ball pitcher. Against the Mariners, he went 3 innings and 60 pitches to get the win. 2 hits, 2 unearned runs. He walked 4 and struck out 2. Does anyone remember the Bear Bryant movie? Yes, the Junction Boys. I do remember that. And they're talking about Jeff Toborg, Baseball Life, in the chat. Bocci is 0 for 3 today with a strikeout. That's true. The CFL did play the American Football Leagues, both NFL and AFL, for 10 games. NFL won 5 of the first 6, but lost the last 3. What'd they do? NFL rules for one half, American rules for one half, and Canadian rules for the other? Struck him out. Moore got him. A full count off-speed pitch swung on and missed for Griffin, who's 1 for 3. He has an RBI single and a strikeout. Ron, how much useless knowledge can you pack in between your ears? A lot. It may come up in a random conversation on the internet. 1 away, 2 to tie, 3 to go to head, by the way, for Oakland. Griffin rips this one into right for a base hit. So 1 on, 1 out for Tettleton, who was 1 for 3. He has singled and struck out twice. How many games of the 2,000 plus do you plan on managing and not streaming? None. Everything that I do is streamed. The 90 to 120 games. Bochy. Twice the NFL champion and Grey Cup champions play with each league winning once. It's back when there needed to be, when the money really mattered for the players. Fruit Loop, as we said, 1 for 3, a single and 2 strikeouts. Ground ball to the mound, Moore to Joyner, and there's 2 out. Tettleton retired, Griffin goes to second, and Tony Phillips, the last chance saloon, 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. One of the best documentaries Todd ever saw was the George Hendricks story. No, was minor league ball about the Portland Mavericks in the 70s. Oregon or Maine? So Moore 1 out away from his first save of the year. Got him. And the Angels move into first place with a 4-2 win. Donnie got him to look on a 1-2 fastball. Phillips takes the collar, and the Angels win this one by the score of 4-2. 3 hours and 12 fake minutes. 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors for California. They go to 11-5. They left on 8. Oakland, 2 runs, 9 hits, no errors, and they left on 8. It was DeCince's solo homer that kind of won the game. How can you give Alfredo Griffin the game-winning RBI when you lose? Anyway, Mike Witt, 7 2/3 for California. 8 hits, 2 runs, both earned. The home run to Canseco, 2 walks and 9 strikeouts. You are more than welcome. Then Corbett faced 1 batter and picked up the win. That strikeout was big, and Donnie Moore allowed a hit, struck out 2 in his inning of work. Chris Cordioli, 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned. He walked 3. Atherton, I thought, pitched well. 2 innings, 2 walks, and a strikeout. The cat wants in. All right, him. Oliveros takes the loss. He gave it the back-to-back homers to DeCince and Jones and struck out 1. So the rest of this Wednesday in baseball. Oh, the battered bastards of baseball. Oh, interesting. Okay. Emily needs thumbs if she's coming in because the door handle is above her pay grade. So here else on this Wednesday the 23rd, the Blue Jays beat the Rangers 10-4. Dave Steed picks up his second win. Poor Jim Mason. Can't win. He's 0-3. Gary Wright, Dreamweavers, right? Anyway, 2 for 5 with a homer. Phillies beat the Expos 6-4. Steve Carlton gets the win. Joe Heskett takes the loss. Hubie Brooks hits 2 home runs. He now has 3 and drives in 3. Cubs beat the Cardinals up at Wrigley down at Wrigley 8-1. Scott Sanderson 2-0. Owen B 1-1. The wife's in a meeting, by the way. This will last for a while. Davey Lopes hits his 3rd. He goes 2 for 3 and 2 RBI. Seattle beats Minnesota 5-2 up at the Kingdome. Moore 2-2. Smith 1-2. Alvin Davis 2 for 4. His second homer of the year and drives in 2. Don't look, Scotty. San Francisco 3, Dodgers 2. Scotty Gureltz goes to 3-0. Fernando goes to 2-1. Brentley hits his 3rd, 1 for 2, and walks twice. The Padres double up the Reds 13-6. The Baker's dozen, as a matter of fact. Andy Hawkins 2-2. John Denny's going to give me a cease and desist letter. He's 0-2 in this replay already. Tony Gwynn hits his first, 3 for 5 and 2 RBI. Houston beats Atlanta 7-2. Bob Nepper 1-2. Zane Smith falls to 0-3. Jose Cruz 3 for 5, 2 RBI and 2 doubles. Red Sox beat the Tigers 7-5. Bruce Hurst goes to 2-0. Chuck Carey falls to 0-2. Tom Brookins 3 for 3 and a double. Baltimore beats Cleveland 6-2. Scotty McGregor picks up his second win of the year. Ken Schramm falls to 2-2. The human rain delay. Rick Dempsey 1 for 2 with a homer and 2 walks. By the way, the Padres pound out 19 hits in that game against the Reds. Kansas City doubles up the Yankees 10-5. Wow. Dennis Leonard 2-0. Dennis Rasmussen 0-2. George Brett, who owned New York, 2 for 2 with a triple. Rick Cerrone, who I forgot was with Milwaukee, 2 hits, 6 RBI, a home run. Jim Gantner, 4 for 4, 2 RBI, and a double. Milwaukee 12, Chicago 4. Wegman opens up a grocery store, goes to 2-1. Tom Seaver falls to 1-2. And there you go. So that's the day for you in baseball. Mets Cardinals tomorrow, noon Eastern. Dwight Gooden again. The Mets are 8-2. The Cardinals are 5-6. San Francisco a half game up on Houston. Yankees a game up on Detroit. And California is in first in the West. Imagine Ron with a hairball is like, yeah, my precious. All right. So thank you so much for that. We will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good day, everybody. So long.